I never really thought much about sleep paralysis. I had heard of it before, but it always seemed like one of those things people exaggerated online. But that changed during my second year of college when I experienced it for the first time and unfortunately not the last. It happened while I was doing my bachelor's at a university in the US. I won't mention the name for privacy reasons. My dorm wasn't some creepy old building or anything like that. It was actually one of the nicer dorms on the campus. It was modern, clean, nothing out of the ordinary. When I moved in, I didn't feel weird about the place. It was just a normal dorm room. Until that night. It was a regular weekday. I had stayed up way too late, cramming for an exam, and finally crashed in bed. At some point in the night, I woke up. Or at least I thought I did. Everything looked normal. My laptop was still on my desk, my phone was plugged in, and a dim light from the hallway peeked in under the door. But something felt wrong, off. It took me a second to realize I couldn't move. I tried to lift my arm, but nothing. Tried to turn my head, but still nothing. My body wasn't responding at all. Then came the pressure. At first, it was just a heavy feeling on my chest, like I had a weighted blanket on. But within seconds, it got worse. Way worse. It felt like something was pushing me down, making it nearly impossible to breathe. My chest barely moved when I tried to suck in the air. Panic hit me like a truck. I tried to speak, to make any kind of noise, but my mouth wouldn't open. My throat wouldn't work. I was completely trapped. The silence in the room was the worst part. It wasn't just quiet. It was like all the normal sounds had disappeared. No hum from the air conditioning, no muffled voices from the hallway. Just this overwhelming, suffocating silence. And then, I noticed something. The shadows in the corner of my room looked darker than usual. I don't know how to explain it, but they felt wrong. My chair near the desk seemed like it had moved, but I couldn't be sure. I couldn't look away. My eyes were locked in place, forcing me to stare at the same spot. I don't know how long I was stuck like that. It felt like forever. And then, just like that, the pressure was gone. My fingers twitched first. Then my chest expanded as I finally gasped for air. My whole body felt like it had just come back to life. I shot up, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding out of my chest. Everything in my room was exactly how I had left it. The chair was in the same spot. The desk was still messy. The light from the hallway was still there. Nothing had changed. But I knew something had just happened. At first, I told myself it was just exhaustion. Maybe my brain had messed up while waking up. But then it happened again and again. It wasn't until I switched my dorm room a few months later that it finally stopped. Only after I moved out did I find out the history of that room. A few years before I moved in, a student had passed away in that same room. But it wasn't a murder. Although still a tragic incident that no one really talked about. Some people said it was an accident. Others believe it was a suicide. The university didn't say much about it. So I couldn't find more information on it. All I know is that after I left, the sleep paralysis never happened again. Maybe it was just stress. Maybe it was all in my head. But I can't shake the feeling that I was never alone in that. So, that was the story. Let us know your thoughts on this experience. Personally, I think there are many things that are really hard to believe until we ourselves face the same. What do you think?